happy times.
Every day I love it even more.
To sad ones.
Most nights I cry myself to sleep.
People sat on the big blue couch spilling their guts and their tears to Jeffrey Cantor, better known as the Good Listener.
Kleenex set up this campaign to allow people to come and let it out, and what I'm learning is people all over the country want to do this.
According to a local survey, 91% of Philadelphians believe it's healthy to let out their emotions, yet only 20% admit doing so.
Philadelphians as well are the least embarrassed about letting it out. They really get what let it out. It's not about embarrassing. It's about letting go and feeling good.
Most Philadelphians.
Mr. Knox, are you here to let it out because of the recent election results?
No, I'm just passing through going home or back to my office.
After considerable skepticism, I decided to take the plunge and let it out. Following the customary pleasantries, something astounding happened.
The Schuylkill Expressway is always jammed.
It started with a lot of anger and a little spittle. The Good Listener, sensing the emotional turmoil, offered a hand of support. Moments later, a memory from the past turned anger into sadness.
And then that Hootie and the Blowfish song came on.
Soon my emotions gave Kleenex a run for its money.
Personally, I think Paris Hilton is getting hosed here, man. And then Charlie Manuel decides to pull the starting pitcher.
2 hours and a river of tears later, an emotional epiphany occurred. It feels great to let it out. And feel the love. Thanks, Kleenex. Sean Murphy, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. I've always handled viewing huge insects the way I've viewed handling huge insects. I'd rather hear nails on a chalkboard while biting on a piece of aluminum foil. So why am I hanging out with hissing cockroaches? A creepy exhibit has come to town.
It's going to be a weekend of fun activities.
It's the first annual Bugfest at the Academy of Natural Sciences.
We are going to have a flea circus. We are going to have bug chefs from around the world competing to see who is the world premier bug chef.
Eating bugs?
If you ate this millipede right here,
If I ate it?
if you ate it, it would upset your stomach, but it wouldn't kill you.
And for dessert?
Not many people are allergic to mealworms, and they are a perfect substitute if you like that nutty taste in your chocolate chip cookie, but can't eat walnuts. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Suddenly, all I could focus on was chomping on a mouthful of bees. But at Bugfest, you can also feed your mind with lots of cool facts.
Grasshoppers are an insect. They have 6 legs and 3 body parts. Oh, look, he's going to the bathroom.
He's going to the bathroom?
Yeah.
That's number 1, right?
Well, it's number 2. They always do number 1 and number 2 at the same time, so.
Wow, that sounds like me in the middle of the night.
Go!
For the sports enthusiast, Bugfest will also feature roach races.
We also have a game show. Are you smarter than a cockroach?
This way, the $50, come to the $50.
After this spectacle, I'm thinking no. Sean Murphy, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
The Constitution. What is the Constitution? Yeah, I mean, it's a huge document. There's a ton of words on it. There's a whole building back here dedicated to it. But, I mean, really, what does it mean? What is the Constitution?
Constitution.
Responses varied. Anywhere from laughter.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the Constitution of the United States?
What can I tell you about the Constitution of the United States?
To repetition.
What can you tell me about the Constitution?
What can I tell you about the Constitution?
From silence. To singing.
All right. Maybe defining the Constitution is a little bit difficult. So let's narrow it down. There are 27 amendments.
You knew that, right?
I'm going to say, because I have absolutely zero idea, 13. 29 or 31?
I would say 12, but I think there are way more. There's like 22 or something, but 12 would be a logical number.
Let's get back to the original question. What is the Constitution?
The fundamental or organic law of the United States framed in 1787 by the Constitutional Convention.
By definition, he's right. Within that framework lies one preamble.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union.
I always run out of gas at that point, too. There are also 7 original articles that deal with everything from the division of government to your stamps.
Article 1, Section 8 gave Congress the power to establish
post offices, as well as the power to coin money. And let's not forget those 27 amendments.
Why don't we play a little game called Name That Amendment? The amendment is search and seizure. Which one is it?
Search and seizure. 10.
That would be Amendment 4, Search and Seizure.
Status of income tax clarified.
18. Amendment 16, the status of income tax clarified.
To clarify status of income tax clarified, that's just a fancy way of saying that Congress can take taxes out of your paycheck. But what about the spirit of the Constitution? Who better to discuss that than one of its authors, Ben Franklin?
The Constitution is the promise that we will continually be vigilant. We will work for freedom. We will continue to involve the people in their government, a government of the people.
One of the wonderful things about being an American is that when asked the question, what do you think about the Constitution, you can not only have your own opinion.
Well, I believe a little bit of it, and some I do, and some I don't.
You can say it. It's called freedom of speech. The First Amendment, remember?
The First Amendment is pretty good. I really enjoy that one.
So what's your favorite amendment?
I believe probably the 21st.
Of course. That one repealed the 18th, prohibition in the United States. To each his own. In Old City, I'm Sean Murphy.
Do something. If they
4 years ago, Lisa Levinson was driving home from work when she noticed what appeared to be dead leaves on the road.
And it wasn't fall, so I thought, this is really odd. And then I got out of my car and I realized, well, they were all animals. And I looked closer and I saw they were toads.
Hundreds of toads, all trying to cross the road at the same time.
I got out and I started helping the toads across. I slowed some traffic down.
Turns out each spring brings the return of American toad mating season.
The male toads will hop over to the reservoir and start singing. They do this long trill, kind of.
You can see why the females come hopping. But this particular path to mating nirvana begins by crossing some pretty rough terrain, ends climbing a huge hill to get to the water, with one very long hop across one very dangerous road in between.
They got squished.
But they won't this year.
She somehow managed to get through municipal agencies here in Philadelphia.
Levinson convinced them to close the road, enlisted the help of students to make signs, and
we decided to create a system that would be a phone tree, a text messaging, and also an email.
To set Operation Close the Road, Save the Toad in motion.
Lisa is the Moses of toads.
This is their one big night, so I really wanted to help them get across.
And parting the red tape at City Hall, giving the toads a clear path to their one big night. Sean Murphy, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. It seems that rocker Sheryl Crow recently said one way to stop global warming would be to use 1 square of toilet paper per sitting. So I hit the streets to get people's thoughts.
That would be hard to do.
You know Sheryl Crow, the singer?
No.
No? Okay, well, she's this big-time singer. She dated Eric Clapton. I'm sure you've heard of him.
No.
Okay. Do you think, Sonia, that you realistically could do that? Now, you know, sometimes things get a little rough.
I don't think so.
I don't think that sounds very hygienic.
Amen, brother. But now Crow says it was a joke and she was just being funny.
You know, it's her freedom of expression to say whatever she wants.
I think in general now I don't find it particularly funny.
Funny or not, it does beg the question.
Do you want to take a crack at the average number of squares one uses per sitting?
Probably 4 to 10.
12, 15 seats.
Probably like 6.
Probably a lot. I know I use a lot myself.
That's double digits then?
I really don't know.
Sheryl Crow recently came out and said that one way to stop global warming would be to use 1 square of toilet paper per sitting. Your thoughts?
Sheryl Crow probably has made a point, and maybe people will be more sensitive. They got the conversation going. That's maybe what she had in mind.
Despite the fact that nobody seemed too offended by what Sheryl Crow said, the moral of the story is this: never mix global warming with personal wiping. Sean Murphy, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. Santa Claus and his reindeer. They live on the North Pole, right? maybe not. My reindeer sources tell me that Santa Claus's reindeer may in fact be local, living at a place called Edelweiss Farm. When I arrived at this home of domestic and exotic animals, the message was quite clear. Intrepid investigative reporters not welcome. But in true Walt Hunter-esque fashion, I powered ahead anyway. And discovered a pot-bellied pig, a cavy, which was kind enough to pose for our camera shot, several toothy llamas, a barn cat with no name, and a very handsome wallaby that looked fabulous in red light. Everywhere I turned, there seemed to be one animal followed by another. I couldn't count them all.
Close to 90 some animals, yes, with the cattle and the reindeer. I mean, all the reindeer are not here now. We have some out on long-term lease at various places throughout New Jersey.
Long-term lease? Perhaps an attempt to throw me off the trail. Nevertheless, what of these two? Was I face to jacket with two of Santa's notorious 9? Or were these just your run-of-the-mill Rangifer tarandus, ruminant mammals of the family Cervidae? Yes, the clip-clop sounded all too familiar, but I needed more, so I searched high and low. I asked assistance of a couple of alpaca, but they weren't talking. Obviously, the tough question needed to be asked. Are Santa's reindeer on the premises?
No, not here. Never.
I thought I'd attempt to blend in a bit better, and I soon felt a breakthrough coming, a reindeer whisperer moment, if you will, when suddenly a reindeer code of silence. My last hope, a donkey, an animal I've been compared to many times. But Jack ain't talking. Bottom line, no Dasher, no Dancer, etc. Oh well, off to my next story, an Easter Bunny sighting in Delaware. Yawning. It's contagious. Between human beings. I mean, you're probably yawning right now after watching me do it. Cover your mouth. But can a human yawn cause a dog to yawn back? A trip to my local veterinarian was in order. Where better to elicit canine yawns?
Sean, you can come in now.
As the moment of truth arrived, I was skeptical, but hopeful. Of the 10 dogs I yawned at, 0 yawned back. But in a University of London study, of the 29 dogs that were yawned at, 21 yawned back. Maybe dogs in Great Britain are bored.
No, I don't think so.
Dog trainer Irina Kelso, seen here with her Great Dane Griffin, has another theory.
Dogs learn by mimicking a lot of human behaviors. They pick up on our body language and they are able to read our body language. So if you yawn, the dog will yawn back at you, but you've got to have the attention of the dog in order for that to happen.
Which I clearly did not have. But even though I was over in the yawning department, I did observe some remarkable abilities in other areas.
Dogs will mimic human body behaviors.
Like driving and using the restroom? Hey, if a dog could use a human bathroom, why not vice versa? Okay, maybe not.